Hey everyone, this is Jeremy with To the Tabletop, or PoindexterG. Today we are going to be taking a look at the round 2 match from the Summer of Legends tournament. This is going to be me versus Penguin Pup. Okay, we're going to take a look at the pick and ban phase here. My picks were Little Red, Buffy, and Bruce Lee. Penguin Pup picked Alice, Sherlock Holmes, and Jekyll and Hyde. And you'll see here that the bans were Sherlock and Bruce Lee. And we will see here that our first match is going to be Buffy versus Jekyll and Hyde. And I decided to go with Xander. This is one of the matchups that supposedly Giles is supposed to be really good for. Well, actually, Giles is good for being able to pull out specific cards if you want to try to get, a Forever Hyde or something out of there. I decided that I would just rather run with Xander. I'm just more familiar with him. So I go ahead, we'll maneuver, just move up to there to start with. I'm not quite ready to attack. Go ahead and use Xander as a shield there for Buffy. We'll see what Dr. Jekyll does up here. Dr. Jekyll is also going to just kind of maneuver and hang out up there and not come all the way in. I'll go ahead and send Xander up there, and we do our first attack, which is Xander to Dr. Jekyll. That'll be Duality of Man defending. That's going to take care of the Daring Strike. Xander is going to take the damage there. Jekyll and Hyde has a lot of really good cards there, particularly on the Jekyll side when defending. So I was probably going to take a hit from Daring Strike, and so I'd rather have Xander take it than Buffy. Okay, so she has changed over to Mr. Hyde. Basically just turns back into Jekyll afterwards, so this is kind of stuck them as Jekyll here, or as Hyde. I kept them from turning into Jekyll. So Penguin Pup's trying to figure out what to do here because she was planning on going back to Dr. Jekyll here instead of Hyde. She ended up playing Strange Case. And pulled out the Skirmish, which is only going to be 1 point, which she is going to apply to Xander and not Buffy, even though Buffy is in the zone there. So Xander is now down to 1 health. Yeah, Xander kind of got hit hard there pretty early. So Xander's attacking in. This will be Skirmish into Military Knowledge. So it's not going to accomplish much there. We're just going to draw a card. And she wants to be able to have a clear path to Buffy, so she kicks Xander out of the way. I kind of want Xander out of the way at this point because he is not going to last a whole lot longer. I'm used to keeping my sidekicks a little longer than this. So Dr. Jekyll will double maneuver up to there. And I decide, well, let's go ahead and attack Dr. Jekyll here. It can always be a little weird here on these attacks to Dr. Jekyll because we've got really good defenses for Jekyll. You can't always hit him as Hyde. Fortunately here I was able to pull a feint out with Mr. Pointy, and that's going to put a few points of damage there, so that will be good. And now we're going to Hyde because I left Buffy there next to it. Knew that this could happen. It's a pure evil, so it's just going to be damage to everyone in his zone. Or rather, not everyone in his zone, just he can move to a space and then hit everyone adjacent. She decided that rather than take out Buffy, she was just going to finish off Xander. So Xander is done. Now she had to kind of take a maneuver there and take a damage as Mr. Hyde. I figured I've got a chance to hit Mr. Hyde here as Mr. Hyde and not have those crazy Jekyll defenses. So it's going to be a skirmish into a swift strike. That's not going to do any damage. We both get to move some people around. We'll move over there. I'm not ready to attack yet again, so I'm going to go off there. And they're changing over to Jekyll, and going to maneuver around up to there. And I'm going to go ahead and attack again. I managed to keep drawing good attacks from Buffy here while having some pretty good defenses. So I'm able to kind of keep just coming in and attacking. Now this is distracted triage, and this is one of the dangers of attacking Dr. Jekyll, is that they can end up getting some health out of it there, because our cards are going to tie. So Jekyll's just going to go back up, and Buffy's going to move away. We only got so many of those, but it does hurt to go in there for a big attack and end up having them have more health than what they started with. And we will do an attack here again. Just going to try to keep this pressure up. This is a Mr. Pointy until with haste, so it's only going to do 1 damage. They did use one of the bigger attacks there. I wasn't able to pull it out with pull out a feint this time with it. And going over to Mr. Hyde and attacking. Here's the first Forever Hyde, which was into a skirmish. And I think that Pup may have just not played this at an optimal time, because she apparently didn't have a whole lot of Jekyll cards to discard, because she only did 1 there. Really didn't ramp that up a whole lot. That really could have been devastating if Pup had been able to commit some more cards to that attack. They're going to hit me again, this time with another recoiling blow. Going to play that into the Slayer Strength, where I'm going to get the move, Mr. Hyde over there and ding him for a health point. And then they're going to use their card effect to move over to that spot right there and change back over to Dr. Jekyll. So now that they are defending as Jekyll, which is good for them. I'm going to boost with this Xander card because I decide I'm going to try to keep pressure up. I'm attacking with a feint this time, or rather they're defending with a feint. I'm sorry, I attack with a feint at a different point. There's a rapid recovery, so I'm going to gain 1 point. They'll go down 1. Or rather, I won't gain because they attacked with, or defended with the feint. I will be able to call this all correctly here at some point. Another double maneuver from Mr. Hyde, or rather Dr. Jekyll at this point. I'm going to boost with another Xander card. That's the downside of taking a sidekick out really, really early, is that you give your opponent a lot of potential boost fodder. So we see Pup trying to decide which card to go with. Ends up taking this undefended, so that'll be 3 damage for them, and I'm going to heal up 1. And so that's gotten me a lot better there with the health advantage now, although I still don't have a sidekick anymore. And I'm a character that typically has a sidekick. And now that I'm kind of in this one-on-one thing, she's also kind of negating my special ability, where I don't really have a lot of opportunities to go through opposing fighters. So, yeah, okay. Calming Research, going to get some health back. And then they're going to do this thing where they can look at 3 cards and look at up to 3 cards and keep one and put the others on the bottom of your deck there. So they're looking through. So I'm deciding what I want to do here. I don't have quite all the cards that I need anymore because I'd been very aggressive up to this point, and I'm just kind of starting to run low on cards at this point. I'm also kind of paying attention to how many cards are going through there. That while I have been fairly aggressive, I haven't been doing all the double maneuvering that Jekyll and Hyde has been, and they're burning through their cards quicker than I am, and it's something I'm going to kind of keep an eye on here as we go through this game. Now here I'm starting to take a look. I'm starting to think about this going late into the game. I want to really keep track of how many schemes Jekyll and Hyde have played, because they can really do some crazy stuff there. You see them boosting to come up here to me. And then after that boost, they will finally attack as Jekyll. This is going to be Jekyll attacking with Duality of Man, which is only going to be a 3. I'm defending with a 3 and I recover. This is kind of the opposite of what happened to me earlier, that they attacked me and I healed up 1. So I drew some cards finally to attack with. Let's go attack again. Pulled out a scientific method where they're going to draw a number of cards equal to the damage they were dealt. They weren't dealt any damage, so they don't deal cards. But I get one. I managed to pull a decent, not a real great defense card. It's only a 2. I would have liked to have pulled something a little stronger with that regroup. And here at this point, I'm starting to answer text messages from work to keep coming in and telling them I'm doing stuff in the tournament. Stop trying to text me. But back to the game here. Jekyll maneuvers. And maneuvers a second time and stops right next to me. And I'm like, okay, what are you doing here? They clearly don't seem to want to leave me, but they don't quite want to attack either. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly they're trying to do. So we're going to try this here. This is where I do attack with the feint, which I don't know, ends up canceling an effect that didn't end up happening there. Thought it may have been one of their other cards with big effects on it, but it wasn't. And looking at the number of cards that she has up there, I doubt that she's really trying to draw a lot at that spot. And then I'm like, fine, I'm just going to maneuver away because, yeah, I burned up one of my feints there that I may need for a forever Hyde at some point. And we saw there that Jekyll and Hyde only have 5 cards left, and I've got a lot more than that, so they're burning through a lot of cards. You can look at what they've got up there. They've got a lot in their hand. They're going to have to start discarding. So I'm going to run out of the way here. I had to discard a couple of cards because I'm kind of overdrawing. And here we go, back to Hyde time. And what I had done was I had moved over to here to get out of the zone that Jekyll and Hyde was in. And you're going to see why I didn't quite do this right. Because they're going to go right there next to me. And you got to remember, you don't want to just get out of the zone that Jekyll and Hyde are in, but you don't want to be adjacent to the zone or you could still take the damage. So I ended up taking a little bit of damage there, and now I'm going to take an attack. This was a Forever Hyde, which I did faint. If she'd have like tried to bait me with that there, she could have pulled like my last feint out there, and I may have not. Yeah, and then I may have been in trouble later on. But anyway, got past that Mr. Hyde with minimal damage. Since again, I'm just looking at the number of cards that are there in the decks. I figured I've got a decent attack here. And Hyde is going to take that, and this is something you kind of, whenever your opponent is kind of left standing around as Hyde, you probably want to hit them then, because they don't have a whole lot of defenses there. So this will be Slayer Strength, which is going to be a 4, which is going to be pretty rough, and then I'm going to move them and hit them for another point after moving them there. So I dropped her all the way down to a 5. And I'm just going to kind of get away from the edge of this zone here and just hang out in here. They're going to do a calming research and do their little card draw thing so they get some of their health back. As you can see, Jekyll and Hyde can be frustrating because, you know, Jekyll can just keep healing. And here I was trying to look through my own discard pile, and instead of hitting search, I hit spread. Fortunately, I'm not little red in this game, so the order of the cards in the discard pile doesn't matter. But I'm looking through there. I've got more cards than they have, you know, 5 versus 3 on that. And they're still maneuvering here and taking some more away. So I'm kind of hoping to be able to do an exhaustion game here, which this is not my favorite way to play Unmatched, but it's a tournament, and I figure I gotta win how I gotta win in a tournament. So we're gonna do this exhaustion thing. And I'm gonna go run up here and hit once here. Distracted triage, so my little plan to just try to knock some more health off of them is going to fail and just give them some more, because my Swift Strike doesn't do anything. I just gave them like 2 more health points. Yeah. Don't just run up and hit Jekyll for the heck of it, okay? If you want to exhaust him, exhaust him. Don't try to get fancy with it. Okay, moving right up here next to me and attacking. This will be a skirmish into a rapid recovery, so that's going to pretty much just negate itself, except that Jekyll can move Buffy if they feel like it. Figured they didn't feel like getting double attack there. And I think that Pup herself is starting to get worried about exhaustion at this point. I'm realizing that they're in a lot of trouble with cards and that I'm in a better shape. I'm kind of looking through the discard pile as well, making sure I know what schemes are all played and what Jekyll and Hyde have left. I'm going to go ahead and go over there and get out of a zone that they can get to immediately, and go ahead and boost and get a little bit further down there so that Jekyll and Hyde cannot easily just boost up to me. It's going to be a lot of spaces they have to go. Just kind of counting spaces there. That's her last card that she just drew there. So she's going to go there and boost to get close to me. I'm going to maneuver right up next to me. And I don't know if maneuvering right up next to me would really be the play. You'd probably want, although, I don't know, maybe she's hoping I'll just sit there and, you know, she could turn into Mr. Hyde next time. But I'm not going to really give her a lot of chances to do that. You'd probably be better in the exhaustion game to try to hang out in the middle rather than constantly chase right up to the spot that they're at. At this point, we can see that they've only got 2 health left there on Jekyll and Hyde. And yeah, I have run out of cards, and now I'm in exhaustion, but I'm in better shape for exhaustion than Jekyll and Hyde, because they're basically going to maneuver here, and that'll be the end of it on that maneuver. So this ended up being an exhaustion game, which is not always the way that I want to do it, but you know, it's a tournament, so you win tournaments however you can. So we'll go ahead and speed up here and go through this. I am now going to be playing Little Red, and we'll see that Pup is going to change over to Alice, and here we are now. So we'll see the initial maneuvers. She takes as Alice. Just kind of draw some cards up there. I go ahead and maneuver. I think I'm forgetting that Huntsman is ranged here and doesn't have to go right up next to Jabberwock. They defended with a feint, which was long have I sought you. That's why I moved up there. I knew there was some reason I did that. But Jabberwock's going to take 2 health, so that'll be okay. And I'm going to attack the Huntsman. You can see this here happen. And Stones in the Belly does manage to go off here, so let's see what we pull out of here. And we grab not a card that's necessarily a huge one for Alice to lose, but just a big boost value on it. So that kind of kept, kind of minimized the damage to Huntsman there. They do some maneuvering around. I'm going to go to this spot right here just to try to get in better positioning, which ends up not really being better positioning. Going to attack Huntsman. This is a regroup. And mine, I was playing off symbol there, so I don't even get the effect on it there. So that was kind of, yeah, that wasn't real great. This right here, I just kind of gonna allow them to pin me here, sitting in this position. I was just trying to get the Huntsman in to be able to attack Alice. Wasn't thinking about the positioning on everything. It's a skirmish into the Stones in the Belly. So we are going to grab another one of Alice's cards here. Eat Me, which that's another good boost value, although Alice does have some pretty big boost values in there on some of her cards, but it's fortunate to be able to get a couple of 3s there, so it's going to do some damage to Alice. And I'm going to go ahead and move out so I don't get pinned. And they're going to go move up there and go ahead and pin Red in. And they're attacking Red. Or are we attacking Huntsman here? And we're going to go ahead and take that momentous shift there on the Huntsman. Kind of realized I was out of defenses there and could run in and smack me around pretty good. So Huntsman is getting into bad shape. Going to go ahead and attack here. Long have I sought you into another feint. So pulled a feint on both of those long have I sought yous. So we've done a little bit of damage to Jabberwock, but not a lot. And they're going to go ahead and try to really pin me in there, bring in Alice. This is going to be a small Alice makes some foe. To Once Upon a Time. It's another card with some good boost value on it there. So we're taking some hits here. Alice takes a hit from that as well. And I'm going to go ahead and attack while I'm in here. And we do a long have I sought you right into the Jabberwock there, which goes undefended, and gets rid of the pin there that I was in. I'm going to take an attack here. I'm going to play Basket. The man is a Hatter, so no damage. And I'll have a wild now for whatever I play next. Alice will attack. And I'm going to go ahead and play that as a defense card, which I rarely do that as a defense card. This will be a big Alice on Oh Frabjous Day, which will be a 6, so it was a good time to go ahead and use that for. I'm going to go ahead and scheme to get on out of there and then maneuver. And let's just get out of here. Do not want to hang by Alice anymore. I don't like playing against Alice. I love playing as Alice. Do not like playing against Alice. So I'm just kind of running out here. Let's hang out in the cemetery. She's like, I'll follow you to the cemetery. Going into the crypt. Can't get pinned in the crypt, so might as well hang in there. And she's going to follow me, and she's going to attack. And this is going to be a small Alice. I'm late. This is probably just to get Alice big. It is going to get rid of the Huntsman. And she's just going to hang in there, right in there next to me. Very boldly just ending right next to me. Well, okay. I'm thinking about, my cards don't want to play. I got a pelt. What pairs well with a pelt? That's attack. And it's a feint into a what's in that in my basket. So that's a good one to have a feint play into because there's obviously no effects on it. So happy to see the feint come out there. And then we're going to go ahead and play this card right after that so I can pick which one of these I want to do. And here I'm just going to deal 2 damage. So now I've got the health advantage and everything over Alice. So this is looking pretty good for me here. It's another Manxome Foe. This is a big Alice Manxome Foe. This is deal damage to the opposing fighter equal to the printed value of their card. That's not a real great one to play with Big Alice, because it doesn't take that that buff for being large, nor does it take the boost from the card on it. So she's going to drop a card there. It's a 3. So this is going to be like a big old attack here. And now I'm suddenly down to 3. Because, yeah, those Big Alice makes some foes hurt a lot. And now I'm running away. I'm like running away from Alice. I do not like playing with this girl. She is mean. Gonna go ahead and do this to maneuver right up to her, and we're going to try to attack again here. And, oh, there we go. Knew that there was going to be a looking glass in there somewhere. So she'll take 2, but she's going to recover 3. So she'll basically go up, up 1 basically. So now she's got more health than when I attacked her earlier. Yeah, I got to think more about these fighters that heal off of defensive things that, you don't necessarily want to attack them sometimes. She hadn't been playing Looking Glasses, and she managed to either draw it late or save it for late. And she's going to attack, and she's still big, and that's a momentous shift into what's in my basket. So I'm going to end up dead there because that's a Big Alice momentous shift. So yeah, it was really looking like I was okay there, and then yeah, it just wasn't. It's really just Alice can really do a lot to you there when she gets big and hits you several times there big. Manxum followed up by a momentous shift when she's big is really huge there. So Pup managed to get this one on me. Okay, everyone, I'm up here now. I had a problem with my stream during Game 3, so we are going to cut over to Darth Colley's this video from his stream. This game will be Little Red versus Jekyll and Hyde. I got to choose the board, and I picked Sunnydale. Sunnydale is one of my go-tos to pick because it's just a pretty simple one, and I don't have to think a whole lot about what I'm doing there. And I opted to go ahead and let Jekyll and Hyde take the number 1 spot. You got to remember here that I am over on the other side now, so we're looking at this from Penguin Pup's perspective. So Jekyll and Hyde's going to do some maneuvering around there. I'm going to go ahead and just send this guy right up here. We're going to do an attack. This will be Long Have I Sought You into a feint. So I'll take a couple of damage, but I pulled a feint out pretty early, so I like seeing that. Now they're going to go into Mr. Hyde and just try to hurt the Huntsman here pretty early. This will be Stones in the Belly into Recoiling Blow. So we'll see which one of what happens here with Stones in the Belly. And ended up grabbing a Calming Research, which I'm fine to see that thing gone just because I don't want to see it, and it's also a big boost value. And of course they go back to being Jekyll here at the end of this. So now I'm going to think about what I want to do here. I'm going to just maneuver around a bit. not getting too far away on my maneuvers. I want to be able to stay close to Jekyll and Hyde. They're going to go up there and hit the huntsman, which is, you know, kind of expected there. So there'll be some damage dealt there. But now they are Hyde, and it's like, So I'm going to attack. Believe that is another Long Have I Sought You, just not adjacent. And to Madness Relents, which will turn him back into Jekyll. Going to go ahead and do this here while I got knives and just hit him for some auto damage. Get a taste of your own medicine there with some auto damage, Jekyll and Hyde. I'm going to roam up there, do an attack here. Huntsman's going to take the damage on that. It's a skirmish, so I can move one of us around, pushing me completely out of the area there. And kind of take a look at our cards here in my wonderful avatar that y'all never get to see. Do some maneuvering around. And this will be a distracted triage into a Once Upon a Time. Kind of keeps checking that symbol on the basket there. Okay, I'm going to do some more maneuvering. Jekyll and Hyde does some maneuvering. And we'll see an attack here. Stones in the belly. Succumb to compulsion. Now they go into Mr. Hyde. They're going to try to get rid of the huntsman here. What I want to do, we're going to go ahead and take that. It's a skirmish, which is going to kill off the huntsman. So now I'm sidekickless again. I do have the health advantage, but we know how much Jekyll and Hyde can heal. And obviously Red can't heal anymore at this point with the huntsman gone. So we will see a feint played into What's in My Basket. That's a good one for me. And now we will do this Never Leave the Path, where I'm going to deal a couple of damage. I'm going to go back to Jekyll and run away there for a bit. Play that into the woods to go ahead and get right up there next to them. This is going to be a feint into another What's in My Basket, which I'm managing to do well, pulling out feints with a What's in My Basket. So I've got like a pretty big health advantage. We'll kind of just keep watching the cards here, because I think as this goes on, we're going to have that we're going to see that Jekyll is going to start running low on cards in the discard again. Now I'm just boosting because I, can't do anything else with that card since I can't heal, and we're going to attack. This will be with haste into another 4, so that's not going to be any damage there. I get to run away. Decide that I need to go ahead and draw up here. Got 13 left, or 13 in her discard there, rather. Gonna maneuver around and get close to Little Red, just kind of stay in the area. Kind of maneuver around there. Not really ready to do anything yet. And Jekyll is once again going to kind of stay near me. She likes kind of staying in the area around me as Jekyll and Hyde. She doesn't really run off a whole lot. She just kind of stays pretty close and looms around. They had to discard there. I think they had too many in the hand. I'm going to move up and go ahead and attack again. This will be another what's in my basket into a duality of man, which is not going to do any damage there since that's a 6 with Jekyll defending with it. Now it's Hyde time. And here's a big nasty. So I pull that card out, so it's going to be 2 auto damage to me there, and then that'll go in the hand. Not the heaviest card that Jekyll and Hyde has there with that 2, but still pretty good. This will be what, Big Eyes, which I am playing on top of a wild, so this will just completely cancel everything. This will be a recoiling blow. And so they also don't get to move away because I've just canceled everything on that card. And I'm like, well, at this point, thinking that Pup was probably planning on changing back to Jekyll at this point and not being Hyde, and so I'm hoping that they won't have a good Hyde defense card. Which is the case. So we get that there. Unfortunately, that doesn't match up a symbol. Or does it? No, it does not. So would have been nice if I could have matched that up. I didn't have a whole lot to attack with there, apparently. Now I'm just going to boost and run away. And we are spinning around this table and looking at the other side here. Okay. Darth Collie's having fun spinning around the camera here. All right, Calming Research. It's definitely a good time to play that and get some more health because I'm getting precariously low there. And I have stepped away from the computer for a moment there. Anyway, she's kind of going through doing her card thing there. And kind of counting how many spaces they are away from things. That's a lot of cards in Jekyll and Hyde's hand. Had to discard there. Now I'm looks like I'm looking through their discard pile. She is as well. We're kind of both looking. So I'm just starting to kind of look at once again, because she just draws so heavily when she plays Jekyll and Hyde, that she's running out of cards. And I'm starting to think that there may be some way to do an exhaustion game here. Of course, she changes over to Mr. Hyde here. So she's going to maneuver as Hyde to get to the one spot, and then go ahead and do pure evil and just hit me for a couple of things there. Gonna play Into the Woods to run away, and then maneuver twice and just get out of there, because I'm just not wanting to be adjacent. I've got too many cards and I'm having to discard now. But I'm really thinking about exhaustion, because she's down to 3 cards, and I know I've got more in mine. Okay, so she's boosting. Try to get right up here next to me. And once again, she's kind of doing the same thing here, boosting right up next to me. I think it'd be better to get to some center position on the board to where you would have a chance, because, if I just run off on maneuvers, you can catch me with a single thing. But if I boost to run away, you're going to have a hard time ever catching me. I'm kind of looking through the discard pile there again. And once again, I'm going to go all the way over to there and boost again to get to there. So now, she's not... Got my clock going here, but really now she's not got any way to be able to catch me, because I'm boosting to run away from her there. And now she's having to, and we can see now she's having to maneuver as Hyde to get up to there. And she really doesn't have a way to get to me there. I think she was trying to find a way to hit me with some auto damage. She's kind of getting stuck to where she doesn't have anywhere to go now that she's run out of cards. I'm going to go ahead and move around a little bit here. I'm in exhaustion as well, but I'm in better shape than she was on the exhaustion. And she's just going to go ahead and die from the exhaustion there. So once again, it was just exhaustion games for both of those as Jekyll and Hyde. And then a very close game on Alice versus Little Red there. So anyway, we can see what all happened with that. And just how everything went down there. It was a really close game on the Little Red and Alice game. And then the rest of it there, I was just having to kind of avoid Jekyll and Hyde and just go into exhaustion with both of them. But anyway, maybe it'll be something for some of us to learn off of that, so that we can, be able to see how to play, play better in other games in the future. If you like this type of video, you can leave a thumbs up and go down into the comments and let me know what you think about it. You can also subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you catch all the videos that I post so you don't miss any of them. And we'll see you around next time.